I usually start these videos by just going straight in to the first point of the topic that we're discussing, but I want to put a little bit of a disclaimer out on this one, and that is that this is an observational piece about the different kind of cultures between people here in Thailand and people from my own country, the UK, or maybe your country, wherever you come from in the West. I am not criticising Thailand or Thai people. I love Thai people. I've lived there for 16 years. I love the place. But it's just sort of little things I've noticed about Thailand, some little things, some big things that I find a bit strange. And so, having said that, let's go into the first thing that I find strange about what Thai people do is they have these physical notifications, if you like, that they are sick or they have hurt themselves. And what I mean by that is they will overly use those blue sticking plasters. If they've got a little zit on their face, right, especially the girls, right, they will have a huge, great big blue plaster on it, right? If they have cut their hand, where we would kind of leave that, they stick a blue plaster on it. If they've got a little bit of a red eye, they'll have an eye patch, right? Also, the excessive use of face masks. And I've noticed that they're not scared to sort of highlight the fact when they are not their best. Those cooling patches you put on your forehead, my kids have constantly got those on. Why is this? Right, well, it could be argued, especially with the face mask, it's just that they basically want to tell you that they're sick and, you know, to stay away and just get away from me, I'm sick. It's kind of, there's more of a community spirit here in Thailand than there is in the UK. So if you have got the sniffles here, it is normal practice. Slip on the old cooling pad here, stiff on a face mask. Yeah, it's fair to say that the local flu and colds are a lot stronger than they are in my country, the UK. And I personally think the reason for that is because it's a lot hotter here, so there isn't the cold to kill a lot of the viruses. And so when they do get a virus like a cold virus, it is a lot stronger. And for that point, I want to make a serious point here. People who come over here bring lots of medications for flu and cold from their home country, and I would say they're a bit of a waste of time. Use the local pills and concoctions. There's lots and lots of pharmacies and drugstores here that you can go into and pick up very, very cheap medicine, which is used to treat the local illnesses. So I would do that if I'm going to give you any kind of recommendation. But I don't think Thai people are necessarily sicker or take more time off than Western people. Far from it. They've worked very, very hard, right? And they're not lazy. But I just noticed that even if they've got a little scratching, it might be because, you know, the water's not as clean over here. Rainwater is dirty, and they're worried about getting infections. But tiny little scratches or zits they get, on goes the plaster. They want everyone to know that they're sick. Number two, and I've deliberately put this at number two, and I'm just going to come straight out with this, and I'm sorry if I offend any Thai people by saying this, but they will tell you when they are going for a shit. Not all the time, right? I want to stress, I don't hear this all the time, but I've heard it enough times to think that it's a thing, right? When you speak the Thai language and listen to the Thai language, you will hear things like, "What key? What key?" That literally means I need to go for a shit, right? You'll hear things like tong sia, my stomach is ill, I've got stomach ache. Ki dad, I think kind of literally means runny bowel movements like diarrhea sort of thing. And the Thais will use this all the time in general language. So you will be sitting, talking to some Thai people, and then one of them will go up and go, "Oh, what key? Right. Genuinely, right? Now, it might just be the people that I mix with, right? Because the girls that I work with, I usually had a few drinks, and so maybe their inhibitions have been relax a little bit. Certainly, I mean, I don't mix a lot in high society here in Thailand, right? So it might not be all over the country, but certainly with the people that I mix with, you hear this all the time. And even, like, I mean, girls have got a thing about communicating with each other when they're on the toilet, you know, like in the trap 1, trap 2. They do that all the time, and they're saying how they feel and what they're doing. I think they're just a little bit more open and upfront about their bowel movements, or whatever you want to say. So, number 2, when they have a number 2, they will tell you. Sometimes, not all the time. I want to stress, this is not all the time, but they do. Number 3 is that they are reluctant to buy second-hand cars, and they are obsessive about new cars. They don't like second-hand. And I thought 2 things about this. First of all, I thought that it was to do with face, and I think face plays a huge part in it. They want that new glow and be able to show off their new purchase. Maybe you've got a relationship going with a Thai lady, or you're married to a Thai lady, and the subject of buying a car comes up, and you say, okay, let's get a second-hand 4x4 or something like that, or a sports utility vehicle or something, and they'll go, oh, no, I'm not having second-hand, I'm buying new. Right. I think a lot of that is to do with face. When you go to buy a new car, I've done this. It literally, like, you will spend 10 minutes posing for photographs. There's ribbons and bows on the car. Now, I think this happens in the West a little bit, but it is excessively happens over here. And actually, I've got to say, not just for used cars, for new cars, but for all white goods. I think I've said already on this channel, I bought a coffee machine once, and it was literally 10 minutes. Next to this coffee machine, having my photo took like 1 million times. And they put it on their website, and it was like a big thing. They got a sale, and here's lucky customer with his new coffee machine. So face plays a big part of it. I thought ghosts might have something to do with it, and their obsessions with the spirit world, Thai's obsession with the spirit world. Now, I've got to say, first of all, if you are ever thinking of coming over here and doing business in Thailand, you have to take this very seriously. We can kind of dismiss ghosts as, you know, Halloween, silly things. Not so in Thai society. It is a really serious thing, and you have to sometimes make decisions and do things like having buildings blessed, having spirit houses. You know, you have to use the spirit world sometimes when you make decisions, and you mustn't mock that, because the Thai people do take that very seriously. I bought my motorbike from the family of somebody who had died, and a lot of the workers in my bar were very cautious about that, because they thought that the ghost of that person would be associated with that vehicle. But apparently, one of the main reasons, I've been talking to a second-hand car salesman here in Thailand. One of the main reasons is that companies like Toyota and Honda have very high taxation on luxury vehicles, even if they're manufactured here in Thailand. And I don't quite understand this, and you've got to remember, I'm from Birmingham, I'm a bit slow, right? But this person said that because of the high taxation, the second-hand car market, the price doesn't depreciate so quickly. And so, therefore, the cost difference between a new and a used vehicle is very small. And therefore, it's best to just go for new all the time. So, why do they always buy new cars and not second-hand? There might be some spiritual reasons. There might be some face. Definitely face is a big thing to do with it. But I think a lot of it is to do with that as well. Oh, and another thing this guy said was, they have a tendency sometimes on second-hand cars to turn the clock back, the odometer. I know. Something we wouldn't do in the UK, would we? Second-hand car salesman of the world. So they are a bit worried about buying second-hand all the time, and they always go for new. The fourth and final thing that I'm going to say about strange things, and I could have highlighted dozens, but I'm just going to keep this video reasonably short, is that they are obsessive about light skin. If you watch the Thai soap operas and, you know, the daily dramas that are on Thai TV, usually about 8:30 in the evening on all the big channels, you will notice that all the main parts of the Thai actors, the superstars, are all what we would call lukrung, or mixed race, so half white, half Thai, and they have very, very light skin. You will notice during the commercial breaks of those soap operas and dramas that a lot of the products for healthcare include skin whitening products. Thais are really, really obsessive about having light skin, which is one of the reasons why, and this is just a fact here, and you've just got to take this for face value, is that they prefer light-skinned people, and they see, whereas we might see a dark-skinned, sort of tanned, chocolate, coffee-skinned, oh, I'm getting excited now, lady as being kind of exotic. They would see the opposite. They would see, like a lady would see a man who has very, very pale skin as being, you know, very, very somebody they would like to meet. I have children over here in Thailand, and all the time people are telling me, well, why don't you take your kids to the UK? You know, they've got more opportunities there. Now there's lots of things I could talk about with that, as far as the economies and the future of Asia versus Europe and America and places like that. But one of the things I always say is they are light skinned. My kids have very light skin. Over here, they're a little bit special. You know, they are seen as, you know, pale skin. They certainly will probably do quite well when it comes to making friends or maybe meeting partners later on in life, because they are light skinned, and also because they speak English as well. So I think they have more opportunity over there. Back in the UK or maybe in the States or Canada or Australia, they'd just be, you know, some other kids. But over here, I think because of the fact that they are pale skinned, I think they have more opportunity. And now, that is wrong. I know that in the way that we think, that is wrong, right? But it's just a fact of life over here. Maybe as the generations go on, that sort of thing will change. And hopefully you will see, for example, more dark-skinned actors and actresses getting bigger parts in Thai movies, Thai soap operas, that sort of thing. Being big singers, getting in boy and girl bands over here. But at the moment, there's definitely an inequality, and it tends towards the white skin. Now, can I just say, if you are a dark-skinned person and you're thinking of coming on holiday over here, you will get treated with respect, and you will, you know, you will be welcomed with open arms. You really will. You will have a fantastic holiday here. But it's just something that I've noticed and people have talked about a lot over the years. If you have any comments, and there's a lot to talk about in this video, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm Mr. Egg. You can catch me at Le Pub on Soy Diamond, just off Walking Street. I'm there from 4 p.m. every day. But I have to go now from what is becoming a very busy beach road, getting ready for the fireworks festival this weekend. I will see you next week for some more delve into life here in Thailand. But for me, Mr. Egg, on Beach Road, Pattaya. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.